This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent. This is your live market chat for Monday, July 10th, 2023. Hopefully you had a great weekend. Another Monday coming up. We're living it right now. If you have any questions, please reach out. This live chat, as always, functions better when people ask more questions, and I'm able to break out and give them specific advice as they need. As most people know, trading is more mental than it is what I would say technical. A lot of people believe the technicals, but in the end, the market's going to do what it's going to do. And your technicals, your beliefs, all these things only matter so much as does what the market is doing. I say this all the time. This is the hardest part. Trading. The inches between your ears, as always, is the most difficult part of trading. So if you have any questions, please reach out. Let's jump into it. If you want to be part of the Discord room, link is in the description. Check it out. As we've talked about, said it over and over. July, choppy, sloppy, apple topping. Things are going to probably get uglier. Again, do we absolutely dump? I mean, I think there's a 10 to 15% correction coming at some point. We're in absolute greed. Is the bear market over? I've said this 1,000 times. No, a bear market does not peak with the VIX at 38. It's just prolonging the inevitable. Again, that's my opinion. Credit crises start the credit tightening cycle and accelerate it, considering the Feds are now expecting to raise rates again at the next meeting. People have to remember, raising rates is a lagging effect, right? So what we're feeling now is the rates from 3 to 6 months previously, and they continue to ratchet up to the point where I think they are going to do their best to kill inflation. And that's going to have to do more with demand destruction, as we've talked about. People who love commodities love them long term too, but I will gladly wait for them to get absolutely curb stomped. And then they start cutting, and that's when you typically see the best time to buy. If you're owning tech for the long run, I wish you good luck. You are holding onto a bag, and if you don't know what that means, you were holding onto a bag of endless potential downside. People are like, whoa, why would you say that? Again, after the Feds do what? Cut rates, spur liquidity, this inflation that will be coming. And again, it's whatever you want to say. It's just going to be a different bull market. You always rotate between sectors. Keep in mind the trillions of dollars does not get destroyed. It rotates. AI, tech, all this stuff, again, it's cyclical. And so you go cheap commodities, overpriced tech. And people go, oh, again, valuation doesn't matter. Agreed. But there is a point where something trading at 30, 40, 50 times future sales has to grow into that multiple, just like you saw in the dot-com bubble crash afterwards. And you saw the same thing with commodity companies. Once all that money rolled into commodities from 2004 to 2008, 2009. And when I say commodities, also throw in banks, industrials, your cyclicals. They all went from single-digit PEs to double, 20, 30, 40 PEs, and then back to single digits. It's all cyclical. And so people ask these questions. Well, why would you want to own commodities? Well, when the prices of goods, the inputs go up, tech hates it. I've said this 1,000 times. Tech doesn't like it because they're by nature deflationary, right? That TV that was once $2,500 now sells for $400. Well, if the cost of materials continues to rise, what happens to their margins? And this is the thing I've said this about NVIDIA. And, as much as people love it or hate it, whatever, NVIDIA is making a chip, right? Making great chips. What is stopping the market and everybody and their mom from making similar, better, competing chips? We talked about it. Remember when AMD came out a couple weeks ago and said, oh, we got the NVIDIA killer. Who else is next, right? Who else is next? That's the question you have to ask yourself. So if you have any questions, please reach out. If you're in the Discord room, hit me up. Let's jump into it. So just confirming, mic check 1 2 1 2. I did not get a mic check. I forgot to do that. Y'all can hear me. If needed, I can do this rant all over again, but I don't think there's anything wrong with the mic. And there's a lot, there's a lot of underlying things that I'm watching. Keep in mind, Fed, this was CPI, PPI this week, 92%. I'm seeing the expectations hold for inflation. Now, again, how bad is, it doesn't really matter. It's just the reaction. Watching Bitcoin holding high and tight, oil stuck. And a lot of people are saying, oh, the shorts squeeze is coming in oil. I mean, demand destruction, short squeeze. I mean, again, we've been in a balanced market. Natural gas, again, leave it alone. Follow on Twitter, hit us up on YouTube, whatever. I mean, check out the website, blah, blah, blah. You guys know the deal. Again, I appreciate all the love, support. Let's get into it, because I think a lot of people, got really, I don't know, what's the best way, like, frustrated with Apple, the fruit. We talked about it blowing out. If you would have shorted last week, we talked about this. This was the novice gap trap. If you don't know what a novice gap is, go into my YouTube channel, watch the video, difference between professional and novice gaps. But 50,000 foot flyby novice gap is a gap that is novices buy it or short it at the highs or the lows before a trend flipping. Here you go. Talked about these days of chop. And now here we go. 20-day. If it breaks below it, arrivederci, whatever, adios, sayonara. Keep an eye on it. That's what I'm honestly watching the most, is just watching the fruit. If you got some short positions in it, loving it. Love it a lot. Because again, I mean, what's the odds of it retesting? These gaps you can get retest and chop. Usually you blow out. I would be watching the 20-day and know that at any point maybe it could get back into the 190s. But here's the thing about swing trading, about managing your positions. If you have amazing trade location entry, trade around it, as I say, set your stop, define your risk, whatever you got to do, but don't just puke it up once you get a couple points. If you're in it to win it, you don't just give it up when you get the first points. Oh, I'm going to dump it all. Because you do not know, and again, doing this long enough, trying to give some good advice. What if all of a sudden tomorrow Apple announces ABC and this thing just gaps down and gets absolutely throttled? What if? You could say the same thing to the upside. That's where, again, if you sit around watching the market all day, you're going to create this story that you feel like you have to do something. The hardest thing in trading is finding the best trade locations, defining your risk, setting your stops, and letting it run. Again, if this was the 10-minute chart, would you freak the hell out? Would you feel like you need to take your profits right this second? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We talked about window dressing, chasing performance into the end of the quarter. Check it out, right? Last day of the month, the motherfucker peaks. Excuse my language. Again, these are repeating tendencies. Watch the videos. Ask questions. I'm telling you, the market is not that complicated. It's just you have tunnel vision trying to think about what the next fucking 10 minutes is going to do. You're missing out on the bigger picture. Oh, I think this is going to happen. I think, again, step out. Disassociate from what you think you want to happen and just go, all right, if I had patience and I could have my mind calm, could I relax and just let things play out? Oh, you bought down here. It didn't go in your favor right away. Ooh, right? We talked about like certain trades. People, again, you nail First Solar at the highs. Oh, it didn't drop, or it didn't break down. It's not crashing. Dude, it dropped 40 points. Let it play around. Let it do what it's got to do. Manage the position. Talk about ag names, gold. I mean, all this stuff, and people are like, every day. It shows, again, because we've all been there. And again, the anxiety of what is next. What do I need to do now? And sometimes, as Livermore would say, the best thing you can do is sit on your hands and do nothing. Go fishing. Leave it alone. Tesla, let's just talk about some of these tech names because they're starting to look a little crappy. Was hoping for the trend line, didn't get it. Well, whatever. Things that don't look bullish. I mean, you took out the range lows, right? 273. Here comes the 20-day. Amazon, Prime Day is coming. Really hope this thing got into 130s, but doesn't. 20-day. Arrivederci. I don't know. Arrivederci is the word. Whatever. Guggenheim. Yes, Thomas. See you later. A lot of tech starting to lag. SMH, we talked about it, rallying back up to the 20-day and chopping around. Support is now resistance. Resistance is futile. No, I'm just kidding. Watch what happens up here. Again, because you could call this like a, again, don't, head and shoulders don't have to be congruent. You don't have to have equal shoulders. But here's your head. Clearly, here's your left shoulder, and here's your right. Check it out. Taiwan Sema, we talked about them. Their numbers. Samsung numbers are absolutely just dog shit. Talked about this. Stuck under here. Just feels like a matter of when, not if. Look at Mr. Softy. 20-day breaking. Again, I'm amazed that people are bullish. I've tried to sell this a million times. When the leaders start cracking and the breath is shit, it's just a matter of time. It's the same thing at the lows. When the leaders stop dropping, they start basing, and the market breath starts showing accumulation, it's just a matter of time before the mofo would rally. NVIDIA, right? Let's look at some of these tech names. 20-day alert. Doot, 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 doot. Watch what happens. That's a shitty alarm. AMD. Talked about it, holding down here, rallying back to the 20-day. Dead cat bounce. Meow. All right. Any other questions? Again, you have bank earnings coming up on Friday. Up into earnings. Uh-oh. Again, Chase. Some of the other banks are acting a little worse. As we talked about, KRE, Michael Berry and all his friends talking about, we got to buy it down here. Cool. It made sense. It was a liquidity trap after dropping from 64 down to 36. Rallying back. Hey, we'll see. Keep an eye on it, right? There's a lot of little things going on beyond the surface, but I'm curious to see how they close. HYG, we've talked about this breaking trend. Look what it's trying to do. Back on. Can you take a look at Disney? Yeah, absolutely. I can absolutely take a look at the Disney. Disney is, again, I don't like to be political, but they're go woke, go broke. This looks like one of those stocks that might be just stuck until earnings. This is a big descending crappy channel. It's one of those things where when it decides to break, probably breaks hard, right? Seems to be stuck in this feedback loop, and it could be stuck here until earnings, right? Man, there's the COVID low. This is just bad. Disney, yikes. Not doing the COVID low. However, sentiment is lower if I can remember the work stuff. Might be, someone's asking on Discord. It makes sense. This is one of those trades where you look at it and you just go, if the market fades, probably coming back to the COVID lows. Will it tank before earnings? I guess it just depends on the gravity of the market. We talked about, where is it? Good old Starbucks, right? Trying to take out the lows. And this is what's so hard about, say Disney and stocks like this, right? You've got clearly defined low end of ranges, right? But are they going to fail without the market failing? It's tough. SPY. Oh, yeah, let's talk about some targets. Downside targets, 20-day on the SPY. This is what's so hard. How do you want to target this? I would think that the first major support would be somewhere around 410 to 400. But keep in mind, August can be absolutely destructive for the markets. You have a little M top. I don't want to say for sure, but I think you could have a quick drop, a rally back, maybe later in earnings or some part of earnings. But August is typically painful. September can be painful. And remember, the momentum, as the Feds raise rates, it's just going to get, in my opinion, it just doesn't make sense for the markets to rally to new high. People are just getting, again, bullish at the highs, bearish at the lows. That's what retail does. And they squeezed the hell out of the market. A few names led it. And that's the thing. Watch the few names that were leading. The Apples, the Metas, the Microsofts. I wouldn't call it really Tesla, but the NVIDIAs, right? AMD's already kind of broken. The Guggenheims, they're not even really leading. You know what I mean. So, it's tough to watch. And here's the thing. The Qs, again, we talked about leading. This 363 area has been important. It is also the 20-day. I mean, the best, and I said this weeks ago, the best 6 months performance in the NASDAQ ever is going to be followed by profit taking. You bet. Oh, you guys getting, what does double speak mean? Is it something within the microphone? I apologize if it sounds like crap. Let me figure this out. Double speak. No echo here? Okay. Cool. Obviously, I can't hear myself. I don't have like a mic in my ear to hear myself. But, okay, no echo. Cool. Yeah, Shannon. I mean, Disney's done a lot of stuff. Again, going woke, going broke. Now, again, if you want to be political about it, all this kind of stuff, it's just a distraction, in my opinion. You got to cater. You got to know your clients. Disney should be a family-friendly experience. It shouldn't be about politics, wokeism, gender equality, all of these things that, again, I mean, they're for adults to have conversations about. I don't know about you guys, but as a kid, I didn't see color. I didn't see race. I didn't have inherent hate in my heart. No one needed to tell me I needed to accept people. I was a freaking kid. So, I had someone ask me today about what I should invest in the new Roth yesterday, thinking is missing the average 8% return. I mean, I would put money in a Roth, but I would not expect an 8% return. I think the safest bet would be to buy bonds at some point, because the Fed's raising rates will initiate the bond buying, because everyone will know that they're basically raising to kill the market. And so they will get defensive. And at a certain point, interest rates offering 5%, 6%, 7%, 8%, whatever it ends up being, whatever you can find, it is going to be attractive, considered safety. That's what happens. Yep, Apple, we just talked about it. No, Shannon, I get it. I'm the same way. Again, when it comes to this kind of stuff, like Bud Light, I mean, Disney, again, know your clients. Try not to, again, it's like people always talked about Michael Jordan in the NBA selling shoes. And he said, what? Republicans buy shoes as well. Who knows if he was, again, what political stance is, but why alienate anybody? Your goal is to sell shoes. Your goal is to fill your theme parks, make people happy. Why are we focusing on things that are very divisive? That's all. He also has 4 and 5 student loans. Yeah, that's tough. I mean, personally, for me, the safest bet's going to be buying bonds at some point and shorting the market. But the market shorting is not usually in people's wheelhouses. So, yeah, Apple 20-day. Yep. I mean, I personally think if somebody has cash and can sit on it, you're going to have some great buying opportunities in real estate. You're going to have some great buying opportunities in commodity markets. But you're going to have to sit on your hands. You're going to have to watch things get really, really, really ugly. And if you don't know what really ugly looks like, let's go back in the time machine. If you've never witnessed like a 2000, like COVID, like VIX spikes up into these 40s plus, just think of the day after Christmas sale. Everything is on sale. Everything is beyond sale. Prices on things will be blowing your mind. But if you have all your capital you're all in right now, well, you can't shop fully. So, you're welcome, Jay. Again, I like Disney shorts. Again, I think all this stuff gets slammed. It's just tough to know if they're gonna hold those names. Like, again, it's like those names that have been bottom fishing. Think of like Micron. Like, there's no good news out of Micron. The irony is that when it rallied, it was crap. But it was like in this like just downward basing, and then it pops up and then flop. I don't know where Disney is at in this, or if Disney even catches a pop. But it's just hard when things are that low. And again, it does show weakness. So if it does break, that means there's probably another wave down. It's just the timing of it. When does it happen? Where do you get to short it from, right? That's the question you have to ask yourself. Just kind of perusing the market. Dollar's been chopping, flopping. holding up. Again, the 200-day is the key. I mean, this 150-day, not really much. Again, as I've said 1,000 times with the bond market, I like the TLT here. I can't remember who asked me in private. They were like, oh, I bought the TLT at 101, 103. I was like, I don't know if I would do that. Because in my mind, this is what is the best setup for the TLT, right? You're going to have some sort of headline. And the headline risk is what? Fed's raising rates, interest rates going higher, people puking bonds. Well, didn't we just get that? And so they were talking when it was up here. I said this many times, I'm on record. Love to see it crap below and trap out. Look at the volume. Look at it. This is liquidity, right? You are releasing the liquidity for what? Big money to do what they need to do. How much lower? This is where it gets so hard is I don't know. I just don't know. Yeah, I can absolutely go NVIDIA. NVIDIA, the 20 days, key. I've said this for weeks. Once it breaks the 20-day, check you later. Check you later. Smell you later. That's my opinion. And again, this is this kind of action. I love how people, again, they don't realize it's hit some fib extensions. If you traded at any point, you've seen how hype pulls a stock in one direction that is so unhealthy that it literally hits points in price action that gets everybody and their mom to sell because they know there's no more upside. And people go, well, it's AI, it's the future. Tech is always the future. 3D printing, oh, it's amazing. Electric vehicles, oh, it's amazing. Solar, it's amazing. Right? All this stuff. It all prices in, and then once it prices out, the momentum profit taking, this is where it gets ugly. This thing could come back just as much. And if you don't remember the Cisco's, and I mean, you can look at oil, whatever the bull market that brings in every retail trader, when they break, it's like there's nothing left. Because keep in mind, smart money is distributing quietly, right? Once there's no one left to buy, because retail's all in, what happens? Why would the market makers hold something up? No desire. Bring that sucker right on down. QQQ targets. I mean, I've said this, and I think this is very clear. I mean, check out the monthly. Check it out. This feels like the 1970s where you had like this big rally. I wish I had, if you have Ned Davis research, Markets in Motion, you had a super rally that just went pow later because obviously Volcker had to keep raising rates. Well, Feds are in that cycle. They're stuck. And people don't realize, like, look at this. Even in the 2000s, look at this big rally back. You went from 64 up to $1.04, right? Huge move. Huge move. Okay. Do you trust it? I don't. No way. No way. Nope. People get pissed when I say chips become a commodity. They literally do. It's not like NVIDIA somehow has some sort of patent on the best technology. I mean, there's a fight that never ends to build better chips or building comparable chips at cheaper prices. Like, think about it. There's no barrier to the entry of this market. So that's the problem. And again, I mean, that's the thing. I look at the Qs. I mean, I could see them in the 120, 140 range. You have to remember that at the scariest, deepest part of the pullback, just like in the scariest rips up, the emotions are high. People go, where do you set your buy orders? I'm just going to start looking at the emotions of the market. And if things in the VIX spike 80, 90, who knows where it gets to, but you'll just see people literally jumping off of bridges, giving up in the market. And that's the thing. That's how you know a bear market is peaking, of like extreme frustration. Like, there's going to be people that have said, oh, I've made millions of dollars trading, just like in the dot-com bubble, just like in the commodity bubble, just in the housing. Oh, I made tons of money. They give it all back. Again, it's like they got hot at the casino and they said, well, I'm just going to keep it running. Just keep it going. Just keep it going. I'm like, I don't know. I've had a few people say they're having struggling buying or watching the live video. Some people haven't had an issue at all. I don't know. YouTube said restricted mode is on, but I can't seem to turn off, and it still shows it is unavailable. Yeah, I don't know. That's weird. That is so weird. Let me, I don't see anything on my end. Don't see anything on my end. No, I don't know. I apologize. Some people are having no problems. Yeah. All right. Any other thoughts, questions, concerns? Yeah, the ad pops up every once in a while. I don't know. You know, it is what it is. It is what it is. What's the ad about? Viagra? Rogaine? Disney vacations? Vegas vacations? Bank introductory rates? It's always funny how you don't know what the hell. Just kind of curious to look at some of these names. I'm looking at like Home Depot. Yeah, I mean, some of these names are holding up. Does Bitcoin? Okay, yeah, look at registration. Michael, if you're reading the news, and again, I don't know how long you've been trading, and again, please don't take this as criticism, but this is a reality of trading, and I love just kind of getting people to understand this kind of stuff. I mean, it's just the reality of trading. Where is it? Come on. People need to realize, like, by the time something gets into the news and retail's talking about it and everybody's talking about it, you got to be super careful. BlackRock and Fidelity talking about this stuff, like, it's not like Bitcoin wasn't trading at whatever. What was it at? 18,000 at the lows. I mean, it went from 16,000 up to 31,000, and now here come the headlines: Fidelity and BlackRock positive news. You have to be scared shitless. If you're basing your intelligence on the mighty news, they weren't telling you to buy it at 17,000. That's for damn sure. But here you go. Read these. This is what's up. Specialist, again, it's the same thing as like gold. I mean, Eric, you've been around. You know how well I know gold. I told people this back in March. You're going to see a pullback in gold. Oh, everybody loves it. I mean, everywhere you go, buy gold, this gold, blah, 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 buy gold, blah, blah. Okay. And then what does gold do? Pulling back. What happened to silver? What happened to the gold miners? Again, when the media is pumping something, and again, I could be wrong here, but this is where you need to have like this little spidey sense. You need to like think about it. When all these institutions are telling you to buy Bitcoin at the highs, you got to be fucking nervous. Excuse my language. Again, I mean, in trading, everyone's going to do okay. So, I mean, again, defining your risks. And it's like the same thing with financials. How many people talk about when we shorted financials, as soon as the headlines got so bearish that everybody was giving up, it was like, time to take your profit. Well, here's Bitcoin at the highs again. Could it go higher? I don't know. But if I owned it and it went from 16,000 up to 30, almost a double, is this a double top? I mean, I would raise my stops. Absolutely raise my stops. Now, if you get kicked out, you can always buy it if it breaks back out. But if it fails, you're going to be like, yes. And that's the problem with the media. I'm telling you, as soon as you get entrenched in to look for evidence beyond the charts, beyond the psychology of it, beyond reality of what makes sense. Like, you have to remember, the market's trying to take the most amount of money from the most amount of people. Who buys and sells based on the news? Retail. Isn't that the sucker, right? That's the sucker. And so you always have to be very careful. And that's what people are like, well, they were pumping Nvidia and it went to the moon. Got it. I understand that. It happens. Sometimes it doesn't sell off right on those first headlines. Maybe it needs to go a little higher. Maybe it needs to do A, B, C, D. Again, the point I would try to just infer to people is like, be thoughtful. Because as soon as you start getting confident that the headline news is giving you all you need to know and everything just seems hunky-dory and you can't go wrong and you're guaranteed a winner, be careful. Remember that? Anyone remember gold? I'm like, you got to be careful. Novice gap. Here was your retest, long wick. Gap down. Retest. Now people are like, well, should I buy gold? Oh, BRICS are going to do this currency thing. I'm telling you right now, the feds, the people in charge, whatever, they're going to try to knock gold down because they're going to push this headline of deflation at some point. At some point, because that's how they can unwind all of this liquidity they're pulling out. They can say, oh, look, we killed it. We did it. Now, does that mean gold's going to tank? I don't know. It just means I will watch from the sideline as an astute observer and not give a shit. Because again, if it's going to go higher and it feels like it's based out and ready to go, I mean, this thing is in a monster monthly cup and handle. Monster cup and handle. The projection takes you up to the 280 range. I don't need to be early on this. I don't need to be early. Let the handle play out. Could it come right back down to this 150? Who the hell knows? Who the hell knows? Oh, but gold's going to reprice overnight. All right, well, if it does, then I'm glad I have physical. That's what I tell people. I mean, playing the paper game, good luck. Own the physical, keep it safe. Any more questions, thoughts, concerns, ideas? I mean, again, it's interesting to see the rebalance, the tech, oil going flatline, miners, a little rally. I mean, anyone remember? A lot of people got salty when I was like, you probably need to take profits. We talked about this pullback, then said watch for the blow off. Remember, miners peak typically in the first quarter. Excuse me. Lower highs, kapow. Kelly Kapowski. And now it's chopping. And people were like, oh, do I want to trade it? I'm like, you can. I mean, it's probably due for a bounce. Watch the 20, 200 day. I mean, is it really going to get over this price action, this area? Good question. Don't know. Do not know. It's interesting. Some people are struggling with the video. I wonder if it's YouTube throttling me. That's not very friendly. Well, it is what it is. All right, any other thoughts, questions, concerns? Again, it's the Monday. It's Monday. Typically, most Mondays are just kind of crap days. Up, down, continuation, chop. Everyone on Friday was like, ooh, a Friday down day? And what's today? A consolidation day. Leaders leading down. Some of the market rallying up. It's a day to go play golf, in my opinion. If you got your positions, go play golf. If you're really that excited about the market. I mean, the only thing that I think looks, again, Apple 20 day. I mean, all those on the 20 day, but look at Meta again. They got 100 million users on Threads. All right, again, I haven't checked out Threads. I have no desire to. All right, let's keep an eye on it. I mean, who's going to go use Threads? Twitter's already got their establishment. Again, maybe I'm just a permanent hater of the Zuck cuck. Whatever. This is such a stupid move. Such a dumb move. But watch the 20 day. Again, it seems to have ridden the lightning, as I call it, the 20 day the whole way. Below off topish. Buy the rumor, sell the news. Threads. Again, it's just like all technology. There's competition endlessly. I'm just curious. Caterpillar holding up. Oh man, I would love to see this up here. That'd be the Tates. CF again. I mean, a lot of these ag names popped. They're chopping around. I like ag a lot. Just sit here and I'm like, I haven't looked at UTHR in a while. Yeah, we talked about selling up here. Yeah, a lot of things that are going on. EXPI, I mean, EXP is killing it. Had an old trend line. Yeah, again, I posted some of their stuff going on in the Denver real estate market. Man, it's getting fugly out there. these interest rates have put a kibosh on investing in real estate. People don't want to pay these rates. They make housing unaffordable. Unaffordable. FedEx. Just kind of curious. Just bouncing around. Figure I'd let it run. Yeah, I mean, you got an interesting spot here. I mean, checking the monthly. Could you get up 276? Maybe. People kept asking about MP. Okay, I mean, again, I personally would take profits. Here it is, retesting. You're at an interesting area. But did you see the headlines about rare earth metals? Yeah, I did. How could I miss them? How could I miss them? You have to be careful. Demand destruction. This is the same stuff with like oil. Like all these people getting super excited about oil. Well, guess what? If there's a global again, China's slowing. I've said this for months. China is not cutting rates because their economy is fucking awesome. It's gonna be the same thing when our feds do it. They go, oh crap, we gotta pour out the liquidity liquor, right? For your homies, right? Like oil is just in a big consolidation pattern, and I'm telling you right now, if you really like oil, the best time to buy it is gonna be what? Breaking the lows, capitulation, release the volume, get all of these fucking excuse my language, all of these gentle, great buyers to give up. That in itself could be like a, or it'll probably here. This is what it looks like. Let me get out my pen. Let me see if this is. All right, whatever. Let's remove it, and I'll thicken it up. We are actually. Yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter. This is what you want to see. Chop, chop, chop. Chop, chop, chop. Kapow. And again, don't quote me on the prices. A bounce, higher low, and then this like never-ending rebuild. And that's where it would be the bottom. And that's where you would get like this sick capitulation. That is always the best setup. I'm telling you, for bottoms. Like that's what you always want to see. You want to see the blowouts, because the blowouts mean retail's given up, market makers have endless inventory, smart money has just gone shopping, and all of a sudden it's like there was 1,000 of this in the market. Now there's no inventory. Smart money bought it up, and it's like, who's going to be selling? Well, the only time they'll sell is at higher prices. Keep that in mind. All right, any other thoughts, questions, concerns? If not, I will wrap it up. Put a condom on this episode. No, I'm just kidding. Apple again, watch it 20 day. It doesn't have to break the first touch. Just keep that in mind. As much as we like to. Tomorrow is Tuesday. IWM holding up. I get it. Chopping around. Chop, 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 chop. Not a whole lot. All right. No questions, no thoughts, no concerns. I appreciate everybody. Keep your mind, what I would say, grounded. Remember, it is the summer going into earnings. What I consider, it's typically choppy. And you're going to have to be careful. Certain days, certain things, certain unknowns, right? You've got CPI Wednesday, PPI Thursday. Could the next 2 days just be a total, what I would call, waste of time to watch? Could certain names go up? Certain names go down? Certain things happen? Yeah. And then in the end, what is it? Nothing. Like nothing really happened. So, all right. I appreciate everybody. Sorry again about the video. I wonder if, I don't know. I'm curious what people saw. Hit me up on the side. Hit me up in the Discord room. I'm curious what you were seeing while you couldn't watch the video. I've never had that happen. So I'll have a talk to you guys and gals later. Peace.